Hi, and welcome to a very bright and blustery Ferry Road Allotments. This is the second of these videos. Well, I've not made one of these for a good few years because, well, just time and just time was better spent trying to get stuff done. In our previous video from a couple of years ago, this is Bay 1, as we call it now. You can kind of see that it's expanded quite a bit. It's a lot taller. Last year this bay was actually two bays divided down the middle, but what we ended up doing was just taking that out and just having it as one big large bay. As you can see, it's actually so much stuff that it's actually starting to fall forward. So one of our plot holders here has put a wee brace. The plan is, when we get a chance, to keep all this stuff back and we'll cover it over and that'll lock down for the winter. So I'm going to head off to plot 2 now. So welcome again to the next bay in Ferry Road Allotments. This is well, bay 2. You can see this bay is our actual working bay just now. It's taken material in. As you can probably see, it's quite a mixture of stuff. Pardon the wobble on the camera. You can probably see there's no signs. We don't have prohibitive notices up, and the idea with that is to try and get as much stuff in as we can. Try and stop people burning it, chucking it away in the bin, or doing whatever. I mean, we take everything here. But some of the stuff I will probably, once I finish the video, pull back out and I'll put it into the pile for shredding, because some of it's a bit kind of tough. So I can see, just looking here, there's some artichoke stalks. Someone's left a sunflower there. I might pull that out, it's still got some seeds in it, put it up for the birds. There's a few bits of sweet corn and stuff. Folk are starting to clear the leaves, they're getting chucked on as well. Someone has added a little ramp here. And this is part of the problem I've got with bay number 2, is that we needed it in the middle of the season. Bay 1 that I showed previously was all filled up, and we needed to get another bay going. Unfortunately, with the restrictions and stuff, we weren't able to get the hire van to go with the builders merchants and all the rest of it and get some more pallets. So we've reused a lot of older pallets here, what we can, and then reuse random bits of wood. So some of the pallets aren't in the best condition, but that's what we needed. You can kind of see how it's getting right to the front here. That's all going to get forked to the back eventually when I get a chance. You also kind of see some of the random stuff that gets picked out. So I can see there's some garden net in there. Looks like a couple of bricks, plant pot. It's all the bigger stuff someone's obviously picked out. I can see just by the fork, you probably can't see it on the video, but I can see there's a plastic crisp packet or something that's lurking in there. The site's looking quite messy just now, especially along here in the working area, and that's just because we've just not been able to have people down to come and have work parties and do stuff together. It's all very much, I'll do something one day, somebody else will do something the next day. Can't really work together. It's really hard with the restrictions and stuff. We're just trying to kind of socially distance. So I'm going to turn it off for now. I'm going to go jump in and fill a couple of these things out, okay? So as you can see, I've just been in, I've just pulled out some really massively thick sunflower stalks. With some of the plots had some really lovely sunflowers this year. And someone's pulled the stalks out, root ball and all, and they've been tossed in, and a couple of these kind of globe artichoke stalks, and when they dry they get really hard. It's almost like a proper stick. They've always been just cut off, nothing will grow off them again, and just toss it in the heap. So I'm going to take these, I'm going to put these into the pile for the shredding. I just thought I would say this before I throw it in the pile for the shredding. This is the sort of stuff we're coming out, that's coming and getting chucked in the compost heaps. Not a problem, it will break down, and the soil's not a problem because all the soil bacteria and stuff all actually helps the compost break down. They've pulled it out and they've left the plant label in. And we've got some random weeds and stuff. So this is the kind of thing, this is why we have to sift our compost at the end. If you're making compost in your own heap, you probably wouldn't need to sift it. You could just pick any bits out with your hand, gloves on, that weren't decomposed, and reincorporate them. But when you've got a community compost like this, where you just get all the kind of random stuff, you know, that's why we sift our compost. I thought I'd just get a quick shot here of the pile of stuff that's building up to get shredded. Our old shredder is out of commission at the moment. Seen a couple of repairs done to it, and given the age of it, I'm not really sure we want to put it into repair shops. We're trying to let it do it ourselves. So the stuff started piling up. You can kind of see there's a lot of clippings. There's some a couple of fruit trees got taken down this year. They've been added in there. This has been emptied at least twice. This was filled up like that before. Emptied at least twice when the shredder was working. So just gives you an idea how much material we're sort of processing. It's a continuous process. Just behind it, you can kind of see the other sort of COVID casualty of this year. We managed to get some pallets from Juicin, the builders merchants, very, very kind of them, the branch down at Seafield. So they've been sitting there, hopefully we can get them dealt with at some point. And welcome to heap 3. This is the third of our heaps that are in the rotation. It's right here underneath the trees, it's behind our tool store, and a nice kind of unused area. Again, it's quite roughly built, and it's just rough. It was built with the pallets we had at the time. This is what will be happening to heap 1 once they get it restacked and rebuilt and all the rest of it. This one was, well, you can see that we usually fill them up to the top of the wood, and then with this particular one, before the plastic sheeting went down, it was covered with thick layer of cardboard, which helps keep the heat in. It really encourages the worms because they just love having a bit of cardboard above them. And you can just see how much it's sunk down as it's decomposed. This one hasn't really, it's not been touched since, so I'm going to take the covers off and then we can have a look inside and see what it's like. The other great thing about the cardboard is, see how we've got these old broken pallets on top. The great thing about the cardboard is it gives you a bit of cushioning. So if there's any sticks or stones or sharp bits or things just sort of protruding to the surface, or even stalks and things just protruding from the surface of the heap, the cardboard gives a bit of cushioning. So when I put this plastic down, it doesn't poke straight the way through. There's a few holes and things. This is old plastic. This is plastic that we either pulled out of the bin because people have just, you know, not had a use for it anymore, or sometimes there's actually been bits of sheets of plastic that's dumped amongst the tree line where I'm standing right now. And it would think it was just in days gone past, and it was just right, just all the rubbish got thrown into the tree line, away from the growing plots. So I'm going to lift off these pallets and this polythene, and we'll have a look underneath. So give me a couple of minutes. Right, so I've lifted the polythene off. You can see it might need a bit longer. If I bring it in a little bit, you'll be able to see all the white sort of bleached growth, and this is weeds that have been thrown at the heap. They've been on the top, and some of these would maybe started to regrow actually before we covered it over. You can see how much it's looking quite nice and brown along the edges here, because what happens is we usually get a nice kind of core in the middle that really composts down. That's our best compost, and then a lot of the stuff around the top will probably skim off and it'll go back at one of the other heaps. I don't know if you'll hear me because that wind's picking up and it's probably blowing right across the microphone, but we'll give it a try. So I'm just going to dig in now with my fork, and we'll see what we can find underneath. Right, so as we can see, it's quite well packed in. Falls. Yeah, that might be a bit longer, some of that. Got a lot of roots and stuff in it. Bits of plastic, some of that's probably off the cardboard. Dig down. There's a lot of roots and things in here. Maybe do a bit longer just to rot down, but this is all the sort of stuff, so you can kind of see some of the sticks and twigs. So that looks like branch, maybe some wee land eye or something. It's been tossed in. You never know what you're going to find. Strip of sellotape. A lot of sticks. A plant label. This is the plastic. And just various stuff. All of this wooden stuff would be much better going through a shredder first. And that's something we're going to try and aim for next year, is to shred some of this before it gets incorporated. Got our heaps working pretty well. Oh. Yeah. See, that's getting a bit dry. Got a few roots and stuff in there. Oh, we've got a bit longer. And if we dug down, once I get this layer off, there'll be some good stuff at the bottom. But it all needs to get cleared off first. I'm going to see all the stuff that we need to get taken out first. All of this stuff, it won't really go through our sifter. It'll just fall out. Right, so on to the next bit.